Hey guys, it's Wednesday, February 22nd, and this is Newswave. So the first thing I'll talk about today is the PS4 Pro Retro, and it's done by Colorware, and what they did was they actually took the PS4 Pro, that we all know, and actually made it more like a callback or a throwback to the original PlayStation. They did the colors all different, which is awesome. It looks just like it. I like the logo at the top. It's all colorful. They even did the little touches, like the center bar in that stack is a darker gray, kind of to mimic the power and eject button on the original PlayStation that had that different color tone. They have the 1 and the 2 above the memory or the USB ports that are supposed to mimic the controller slots. And then, of course, it also has the Sony and the PS4 logos done in different colors as well to match it with the blue and the green. Very neat. Unfortunately, I think they're sold out. They were selling them for about $900. But again, it's more of a collector's piece in this case, guys. It's not really like you're not buying it because it's a PlayStation completely. You're buying it because you like the look, you like the customization, and you want something to add to the collection, I guess. A lot of people do buy these just because of collector's value, so keep that in mind. But yes, about $900. They ship in about a week or so. I don't know if they still have any left. It looks like on their site, when I checked, they at least had the order button like open, so I assume they're not completely sold out right now. It's Colorware. I'll leave the link in the description if you guys at least just want to check it out. The next bit of news, guys, we found out when the Switch embargo dates are. This is for the hardware and the games. Now, the hardware's embargo is up on the 23rd of February, so that's tomorrow. Now, the embargo for the games are different. That's March 1st. That's when you'll start seeing things for like Zelda pop up or snipper clips or any games that any of the reviewers have, Bomberman, things like that will start popping up on the 1st. You'll see reviews come up, different things like that. I do know on the 23rd, they're only allowed to do previews of the hardware, so you'll at least be able to see the people's Switches in general. They'll show them off to us on camera and everything. Then I believe on the 1st, along with the games, they'll be able to actually put a full review for the system out, which would be obviously anyway 2 days before release, which most of us are buying the Switch at this point anyway, so the reviewers' stuff won't actually affect the buyers, or at least the early adopters, too much anyway. Now, I'm about to get into some interesting stuff. I want to let you guys know I will not be revealing any spoilers. No pictures will show up that show that kind of stuff. But Nintendo seems to have no problem doing that to their fans. Specifically on Twitter, they put out images from the new trailer that came out, and this is just a public trailer they put out, and there were flashes of what people believe to be a boss that is going to be in the game. Now, they didn't originally show this. They just showed a trailer saying, hey, look, a new trailer, go watch it if you want, and people who did go watch it were worried that that was a spoiler, and then they took it one step farther, and they went ahead and just put the entire screen image from that video up that people were concerned about, and this led to a lot of backlash on Twitter, as you can imagine. So you had people raging at Nintendo about this, and then you had people on the other side of the fence saying, oh, spoiler, Link's in the game, like whatever was shown was obvious. I don't think it was, to be honest. I think what they did show was kind of out of nowhere. Maybe maybe it's not a big part of the later stages of the game, but it's definitely something in the game. So I don't want to spoil it for you guys. If you want to go check it out, you can. I know Studio Q uploaded it on his channel. It's the whole Japanese trailer. If you want, I'll go ahead and link it down in the description. You guys can check it out from there. And be warned, there is part of that has not been in any other trailer since then. So it may be a spoiler, maybe not. It's not really big. It doesn't really spell anything out. It just shows you what could potentially be a boss down the line. And I'm going to go ahead and stick with Zelda Breath of the Wild here because what you're about to hear may be troubling. It's technically been leaked online. Now, I say technically because you cannot actually unlock it. It's encrypted, so the person who leaked it online has obviously the unlock key for it to open up the encryption, but the game for the Wii U has already technically been dumped. You can download the ISO. It's very easy to find. You can download the ISO, and once the key comes out, it will be unlocked. Now, people are already data mining this thing. There's a certain website, I'm not going to say where, but they are checking out everything. They've already found all the different outfits, the shields, enemies, all this stuff is starting to show up because they're data mining the game itself, the ISO, and they're just coming up with all these spoilers. So be careful online. I said it before, but be very careful right now because that game is going to be leaked probably in the next couple days, and people will already be playing it before release day on the Wii U. Alright, so this would have been a lot of backlash from fans. I get this, but Nintendo probably should have pushed back the Wii U release, much like they did with Twilight Princess on the GameCube, at least a week later. to keep this from happening, because the Wii U version is going to get out there. People already have Wii U, so they're going to start playing it, and it's just going to spoil the game for people who are legitimately trying to wait for release day. It's going to be so hard. People are just going to go around on Twitter posting screen grabs of bosses and probably the final boss even. You're going to see all this stuff pop up, and it's a shame. Just be very careful online for the next week and a half, because people will be out there with this game trying to spoil it. And we got sad news that Alan Stone, who was one of the co-founders of Nintendo of America, has passed away. This was on Friday that he passed away from cancer. And like I said, he was best known. He was one of the co-founders of Nintendo of America back in 1981. He helped bring like arcade classics to the arcades in America, including like Donkey Kong was a really big one, Radar Scope. And of course, then he was there for, of course, the release of the Nintendo Entertainment System, and then so forth. And then all of a sudden, he jumps to Sega. So yes, he did leave Nintendo, jumped to Sega in 1994, but that's all business. It's business. It's not like he hated Nintendo and wanted to jump to Sega. More than likely, he had a better offer at Sega. He takes that, goes there, and eventually, he did find his way to Nanotech Media, where he kind of finished out his days, but he was a very integral part with Nintendo back when it first started in America, and I'm sure he'll be missed by pretty much everyone in the industry that knew him. I don't think anyone in Nintendo has like ill will because he jumped to Sega. Again, if you're in business, you know, it's just business. You take the better offer if it is going to help your career. In this case, it probably did, even though, of course, Sega had some rough times later on in the 90s, going into 2000s, where they exited the console business, but still, very important part to the early years of Nintendo in America, and he will be missed. And we found out how Nintendo is going to attempt to market the Switch better in the United States, and they're going to get the help from none other than John Cena! I was almost positive that was on its way out by now, but I guess not. So yes, Nintendo is going to use the help of John Cena to help show the Switch off at different events, specifically February 23rd to show off 1-2 Switch in California. And their reasoning was because he is a versatile actor and athlete like the Switch, which is an odd reason to say that. But listen, John Cena, of course, is a great person to put on the front of anything you're trying to market, especially in America, since he looks like the person that most Americans would strive to be like, so that makes sense. Obviously a very athletic, very clean-cut looking person that is viewed greatly in the media as a overall good person. Obviously, he's very easy to market. He has the look and everything, so it makes sense for Nintendo to take somebody who Americans would look at and say, oh, cool, and get behind the Switch. Also, he is very popular with kids, and of course, Nintendo still wants that kid audience as well as the adults, so this is a move that makes a lot of sense on Nintendo's part. I have to say, marketing-wise, yes, this is good. And we got word from Square that Dragon Quest X is coming to the Switch sometime between summer and fall, and the Wii service for Dragon Quest X is being dropped, and that's going to happen around the same time, and the reasoning for that is because they're looking to update the game, specifically, I guess, for the Switch, beyond the scope of what the Wii can handle. That makes sense. As the newer hardware comes out, you really can't take the old hardware and keep updating it for that system without it becoming a strain on that system and then holding back the new system. So yes, this makes sense. Obviously, I think we can all agree on this. The Switch should take precedence over the older systems. Move Dragon Quest X forward. It's going to be very popular in Japan. It'll become popular over here when it comes out. And that's all there is to it. It's really cool because it's going to be an MMO that's going to be on the Switch. I really hope it does well. I think the Switch, as weird as it sounds, makes a lot of sense for MMOs. Maybe we see more of these come over. We've already heard about Final Fantasy XIV possibly coming to the Switch. Square is really thinking about it, which is interesting because that means it would probably come to the Switch before the Xbox. And interesting, right? MMOs on the Switch. Who would have thought? MMOs on this little handheld that you're holding in the living room, or maybe you dock it and you put it on TV. Interesting idea. I think I would like to see a lot more MMOs come to that system. And we found out that Metal Gear Solid, the movie, is actually in production they're getting the script written and everything. Sounds like Kojima himself is actually going to be a part of writing the script, and this is with movie director Jordan Vogt-Roberts. And one of the big controversial things right now is a lot of people believe that Metal Gear Solid has to be R-rated to be good. He is more along the lines of maybe we make it PG-13 to get more people in the doors. Obviously, like kids and stuff can go to it technically. You don't need, obviously a parent there if it's not R, because then 17 plus for R. Anything less than that, you can get the 15, 16-year-olds in there as well. This this is Jordan Roberts talking about this, that it doesn't necessarily need to be R-rated to be good. The thing about Metal Gear Solid is it has always been a more violent genre. I think we can all agree on that. And really, you can get away with PG-13 if you do a lot of camera cuts and stuff away from violent acts, but it's got to be a more violent movie, right? I mean, Metal Gear Solid's always been violent, so I'm not really sure how he would pull that off at PG-13. He talked about like G.I. Joe and Kong and stuff like that being PG-13. Yeah, that's great, but I think most of the people who enjoyed Metal Gear Solid back on the PS1 would probably enjoy it as an R-rated film, since most of us who enjoyed it on the PS1 are old enough to go to an R-rated movie. So either way, I'll check it out, because now that I hear that Kojima is involved in the script writing, I'm sure the plot will be super crazy and over the top and out there. So, sounds like a fun movie. And that's it for Newswave today, guys. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what you think about all the stuff we talked about here. Are you going to have your fingers in your ears and just singing all the time so you don't see any Zelda spoilers? It might be tough. I'm telling you guys, this is not going to be an easy week to avoid this stuff. Maybe you are excited about the new Metal Gear Solid movie coming out, and maybe you're interested in John Cena doing marketing for the Switch. That's interesting. Let me know what you guys think down below. I will see you next time.